Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to take a look at the Templar tank for the Dragonbones DLC. This is a dungeon build. I do have also a written guide on my website. I will put the link in the description. I have stuff a little bit more specified there, buff food, potions, and what other sets you can use, etc. When we are looking at our stats, we have a lot of health, stem, magicka, and our resistances are also pretty nice. The attributes are here, as you can see. I do use the Lord Mundustone because you want more max health. It's actually pretty nice. I'm also a vampire. The reason why I'm a vampire is because of the undeath passive. It gives you damage reduction, quite a lot actually. Just be careful. If you're stage 2 or higher vampire, you take extra damage from fire. Just as a note. In terms of class of the race, what you want to run is an Argonian. They're simply the best tank setup. First off, they receive more healing, they also do more healing, and you get 9% max health. Now here, the cherry on top. When you drink a potion, you restore 4620 health, magic, and stamina. That's so much. Let me just kind of showcase you. I use a few skills, and now I use my potion. You see, like it basically fills up 80% of your resources. It's just so strong. You can use this every 45 seconds. That's why it's actually quite hard to run out of sustain. Now other races like Imperial, Khajiit, Redguard, Orc obviously also work, but again, Argonian is definitely the best because you simply can time your resources way better. In terms of buff food, we use tri-stat buff food, and you also want to make sure to use tri-stat potions because they're simply the strongest. If you think you don't need them, don't use them, but they're really good, especially for the more difficult dungeons. Like I said, I do have different gear setups on my website, and please make sure to not forget to subscribe. I will upload more videos in the future. So what am I running? I'm running 5 Eben. Gives you 1079 health to you and the group members, so it's actually a really nice support set. And we are using Toruk's Pact. The 5-piece here is also very nice. It decreases weapon enchantment cooldown and increases potency by 30%. Now if you want, if you have Alkosh, use Alkosh. I simply chose to run Toruk's Pact because most people probably don't have access to Alkosh yet, and you actually need like 2 swords and 2 shields of Alkosh. They're really hard to get. So Toruk's Pact is definitely the more easy choice, and it's also easier, it's easier to use in general. On top of that, we are using infused traits on both swords. So you see, my enchantments are so strong. Plus, they have 0 cooldown, so you can keep them on the enemy all the time. What you need to make sure though is, that's why I actually like the set, you need to light attack and weapon swap a lot, and you need to drop your block to apply the enchant. So you kinda need to learn in dungeons when the boss, for example, hits you with a very strong attack, so you block, and when he doesn't hit you, you can do heavy attack with a skill or weapon swap, light attack ability and stuff like that. You really kinda need to learn the timing, and that you can keep up those enchantments as much as possible. The Crusher enchant will increase the damage of your group a lot. Weakening enchantment will reduce the weapon damage and spell damage of enemies. Therefore, the enemy, like bosses, will do like 10 to 20% less damage. That's a huge damage reduction if it's active on the boss. The last set is War Mother. Now, if you think you don't need that, you could technically swap it out with other things, but it's actually really nice. There we go. Don't know why I didn't have... Anyway. The thing about this set is, when you block, it pulls all mobs to you that are further away than 5 meters. and you barely notice the cooldown. So that's kind of a nice replacement for the Dragon Knight chains. So you can stack all the mobs together very close, and then your damage dealers can focus a lot of damage in a small area and all the mobs will die fast. I do run Reinforced on the chest, then I have hands with infused, helm with infused, and the shields with infused. On the big pieces and shield all tri-stat, small pieces sturdy with health and chance. If you feel like you don't have enough sustain, you could swap out Swarmother for like the Sentinel of Rkugamt or whatever, however you pronounce this. It kinda, you see, when you heal a friendly target, you have a 10% chance to summon a Dwemer Spider that heals you and restores stamina for 8 seconds every 1 second. So it's actually quite nice. And we do have healing skills like Extended Ritual or Honor the Dead. So it will proc almost on cooldown if you really have sustain issues. Otherwise, I recommend running Swarmother. You need free shield play and chance, block cost reduction, just to kind of tune down the cost of blocking. 40 here. Now how you distribute it here is not that important as long as you have 120 points. Because if you roll dodge, you set the enemy off balance. You don't roll dodge that often, but I mean there's no other, you can't put, it doesn't matter where you put the points, so why not here? So when your damage dealers have the Exploiter CP perk, they get a little bit more damage for a short duration. 4 Spell Erosion, 76 Blessed. Get higher heals. 81 Shadow Ward, you really want to make sure to have a lot of block cost reduction. 44 Tumbling. 43 Tenacity, if you do heavy attacks to restore stamina, this is actually really helpful. 19 Arcanist, 21, 21, 11. You can play around with those CPs, keep that in mind. I also do have a 300 CP setup on my website in case you're not maxed out yet. 13 Heavy Armor, 25 Expert Defender, 49, 49, 28, 1 and 66. You need a lot of points in Ironclad, because a lot of the hard hitting abilities are direct damage attacks. So yeah, really make sure you have 66 here. It's about the CP setup. Now a few things to mention in terms of passives. Spear Wall is quite nice, increase the amount of damage you can block from melee attacks by 15%. So that's actually quite neat. You also get more spell resistance. Then here when you use Dawn's Wrath ability, so for example our Power of the Light, you get ultimate faster. And in general, Magic Standard ultimate cost is reduced by 4%. And here, I mean, they're nice, but yeah, whatever. It's actually nice. Maybe this year, Master Ritualist increases resurrection speed by 20%. It's actually really nice if somebody dies, you can rest faster than other classes. Make sure you have all Sword and Board passives, Heavy Armor passives. Then you want Windwalker in medium and Evocation in medium, because we are running 5 heavy, 1 medium, 1 heavy, 1 light. So the reason why we do this is because of the Undaunted passive. If we have a type of each armor, we get 6% more max resources. That's why we have so much Magicka stamina and health. Something to really remember. Then, like I said, Undeath passive and maybe also supernatural. I have them all listed on my website. Fight the Guild if you want to. It's actually nice sometimes because this year you get more ultimate points. Mage's Guild and Undaunted. Racial, of course. And Alchemy, this is very important. You need to level up Alchemy to get medicinal use. When you use potions, the potions last longer. Now to the skills. So you can change around those skills however you want. Like those, this is just the base structure, and I will tell you in a second why I use those skills. Radiant Ward. Now surround yourself with Solar Rays, granting a damage shield equal to 31% of your max health. You see, 12k shield, that's actually pretty nice. It's a quite big shield. If a boss hits you for 20k, you have your shield active, only 9k will go to your health. You can absorb a lot of damage. And then you also see, each enemy hit increases the shield strength by 6%, so this can kinda get up to 16k if there's enough enemies around. Thus making it kinda the strongest shield the tank has access to. Power of the Light. Now, this is a very nice skill because it applies minor breach and minor fracture to the enemy. It also deals nice damage. However, you have to be careful. It costs 1.5k stamina and has a duration of 6 seconds. And we all know when you block, you don't restore stamina. So it's quite costly if you want to keep this up 100%. But like I said, you don't need to perma block. If you want to do a heavy attack to restore resources, go for it. Just don't do it when the boss is about to hit you. Pierce Armor. Main taunt applies major fracture and major breach to the enemy, reducing the physical and spell resistance by 5.3k. Honor the Dead. Now this is kinda your fail-safe ability. It heals, healing yourself or a wounded ally. You could use the other morph if you want to, but keep in mind it's very expensive. And here, healing anyone who is below 75% health restores 60% of the ability's cost over 8 seconds. So it's also a nice way to regain Magicka. Spellsim. We trade 6k health for 3k Magicka. So we have a lot of health, so it doesn't really hurt us a lot, as you can see. Just keep in mind, this is like your next magic ability is reduced by 28% cost. So when we kinda look at the Honor the Dead, 4.3k, now it's only 3k. But keep in mind, the exchange reduces your healing down and damage shield strength by 50% for 4 seconds. So when you use this and then immediately use this, it will heal for less. Just as a heads up. So I kinda recommend using those till you're low on Magicka. Once you're low on Magicka, you can start using Spellsim to kinda refill your pool. Shield Discipline. If you want, you can use other ultis here, but our main ultimate is Aggressive Horn. Shield Discipline is nice because, you see, your one hand and shield abilities costs are reduced by 100%. Now this here costs 1.4k. 0. And now we also can use heavy attacks to restore stamina and do other abilities. If you drop low on stamina, your potion is not even being close to ready, you really struggle, activate this, then use heavy attack weaves to restore a lot of stamina. That's probably a really nice way to sustain if you have problems sustaining, although the Argonian passive with the potions should be more than enough. And keep in mind, try to do heavy attacks as much as possible. You don't need to permablock. Extended Ritual. Now keep this on the ground as much as possible. First off, it offers a synergy. It also cleanses a lot of debuffs from you and it heals. So this is a very strong, like if you have a lot of dots on you, enemy dots, just can poof, they're all gone. Very nice ability. Heroic Slash debuffs the enemy with minor maim, reducing the damage by 15% and also gives you minor heroism, giving you faster ultimate regeneration. Repentance is another way to kinda restore a lot of stamina, especially on trash fights. It gives you like 3k stamina for each corpse, and the skill itself doesn't cost anything. It also gives you health. If you're low on health, your healer is dead or something, you can pop this, bam, you will basically go back to full health if there is like 6-7 mobs. It's really effective. Enrage, this is your ranged taunt. Only use this if you need to taunt mobs from far away. Otherwise keep using Pierce Armor because of the like Major Fracture and Major Breach debuff. Restoring Focus. Now this gives us Major Resolve and Major Ward, increasing resistance. And you also gain Minor Vitality and Minor Protection, increasing healing received by 8% and reducing your damage taken by 8%. So this is a very strong ability. Basically, keep this on the ground, keep this on the ground, and you're good to go. Trust me. If you need burst heals, if you need a huge shield, use the shield. Aggressive Warhorn, your main ultimate to support your group. So first off, for 30 seconds you buff your group members with 10% increased max magicka, health and stamina. And then on top of that, for 10 seconds you give your group members Major Force, increasing their critical damage done by 15%. That's why I always suggest tanks and healers use Aggressive Horn to support the group overall, because you get 10% more health here, you get a little bit more health from Eben, so it just synergizes really well. And then most people will have 18 to 19k health, therefore die a lot less from like weird things they shouldn't die from. Yes, like I said, play around with the build. Nothing is maced into stone, as long as you understood the idea why I kinda set it up like this. It's all good, you can experiment around. If you have any questions about the build, please ask me in the comment section below. Make sure to not forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Cheers.